Good evening, race fans. Welcome here to Talladega Super Speedway for tonight's Talladega 200. My name is Robert Hill Jr. Joining me, as always, is Chris Wright. Chris, how you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing really good, man. I'm ready to see some racing here at Talladega. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be an exciting night.
Definitely going to be a good one. We'll do a little bit of a speed run here through the starting grid. Scott Crump, Chase Cabre on the front row. Ethan Burrell, Tyler Fode, row 2. Dustin Dewar, R.C. Anderson, row 3. Leighton Norgard, Jake Connor in row 4. Brandon Ultra, Andrew Hardcastle round out the top 10 with Hossack, Story, Green, Campbell, Tooker, Jesse Racimus, Thomas, Rawls, Smith, and Racimus the top 20. Then it's Carpenter, Frankenfield, Adams, Evans, Hibbs, Weeks, Jones, Rebilas, Goodman, Thompson, the top 30, Stanley, Pop, Hanshaw, Higgins, McCall, Jeff Ryan, as well as Tommy Ryan, Tate Lytle, Nick Massey, and Rory Collins, your 40-car field here tonight as we work our way through 3 and 4. Chris Wright, a couple drivers locked into the playoffs. You'll see them indicated in green on your scoring tower. We'll point out the other colors as we get set to go green. We're going to make race picks here. I'll kick us off tonight, and we cannot have the same driver here, Chris Wright. I'm going to go with the number 48 of Nick Massey. Who do you got?
Robert, you still with us?
Yeah, you got me?
Yeah, you said we're going to, and then you just stopped. And I
Oh, no, I said we're making race picks, and I took the 48 of Nick Massey. Who are you taking?
Oh, you did? You stole him right out from under me? All right, well, I will take, I'll take the 2 of Jeff Green. Oh, Dude Good was feeling pretty confident over there tonight.
Good pick, good pick. Just of note here on the scoring pylon, you'll see multiple colors. Green means they're locked in to advance to the next round. White, as you see with Scott Crump, means he's on the outside looking in currently. And blue, with drivers such as Ethan Burrell, indicates they're currently in a playoff spot, just not locked into the next round. Chase Cabre leads us down the back straightaway here. Tyler Fode, Scott Crump side by side for second and third there, as it looks like iRacing wanting to absolutely blast your ears off here tonight, folks. We'll get that adjusted for you so you don't have to go deaf while watching this tonight.
And already big moves at the front. It looked like Chase was going to try to block to stay at the front. Scott said, I'm not going to have any of that. Force his way to the outside. Chad Frankenfield shooting the middle back here, trying to make his way up to the front.
Yeah, Chad Frankenfield known for a couple risky moves that he likes to make sometimes. That one was rather simple right there. The middle lane just opened up and Chad Frankenfield decided to take it, which absolutely do not blame him whatsoever for wanting to do that as we watch the side-by-side battle for the lead.
The door open back there.
Oh, no. Come on, Chad now. Moves Jess Story up the racetrack. That's Jaden Racimus behind him. Jesse Racimus on the inside. We'll see what they can do. See if they can work their way up towards the front. Chris, a little bit of race format details here. 76 laps, halfway point at the end of lap 38, coming to 39, and 3 sets of tires available for these drivers here tonight. That third lane, not really going to be able to do anything right now. It's Jeff Green, Johnny Thomas up on the high side. You need assistance. You need strength in numbers to be able to work your way up there. We'll see what happens. A couple drivers playing it safe here. Andrew Hardcastle falling all the way to the rear of the field. Just had a Rory Collins. It doesn't look like Tate Lytle has taken the green here tonight, Chris. So going to be one driver short compared to what we had, and we're wrecking already. Oh, I see Chad involved, David Tooker, Michael Hossack, numerous playoff drivers involved, and the caution is out. The big one already here at the Talladega Super Speedway. Ethan Stanley, Matthew Weeks, Michael Goodman, Tyler Fode. This could have massive playoff implications here tonight. Of course, this is the cutoff race in round number 1. We'll see if we can see where this one kicked off. Oh, you see what happened? No, we don't see it. Where did it start? Tyler Fode?
Oh, it's
Hold on one second, Chris. Let's get to Tyler Fode.
Oh, wow.
Watching Fode. He's that orange car outside of row number 2. Oh, he loses it, I think. He blows up.
He blew a motor. Yeah,
Wow.
go back and you'll see
How
the smoke shoot out the back.
stupid. Oh, no. Already blowing the motor. You got to watch those temps, Tyler.
Yeah, you'll see the smoke right here if you
Chris,
play it forward.
I think he might have got hit by a glitch because he's not even on the rear end of Scott Crump really at all. You can see the rest of this kind of kick off behind RC Anderson. I think RC might panic a little bit, check up a bit, not knowing what's going on with Tyler Fode. Johnny Thomas gets a piece of that. Zach Evans, Kyle Hanshaw, you see Goody there. Ethan Stanley. Chad Frankenfield, I think, got a rather big piece of this one. So we'll try to back that up and see what happened to Chad. Rear end definitely missing on this one. Did he get some assistance? Or was he the assistance? So the 6 gets hit by the 45, or the 9, sorry, gets hit by the 45. Chad goes into him, and that just leads to a big pileup there. Gavin Hibbs involved. Looks like Gerald Campbell might have been involved as well. So pit road, an exceptionally busy place already. I know Chris Wright doing a little bit of administrative work there, trying to sort everything out. So we'll take a look at the points coming into tonight, and this is where things do get interesting. So the top 9 are going to be those drivers that will advance on to the next round. Of course, Cabry, Fode, luckily for him, is locked in, and David Tooker are those drivers that are locked into the next round of the playoffs. So that means Ethan Stanley, Ethan Burrell, Matthew Weeks, Chad Frankenfield, who was just involved there, Gerald Campbell, who might have got a little piece of it as well, Nick Massey, who's just had a miserable playoffs, is currently that bubble driver. Then it's Tyler Popp, who looks to be okay. Seth Rawls might have gotten a slight piece of that. Scott Crump was clear of it, luckily for him. Michael Hossig, we know, got a piece of that, and well, that last driver, well, he made the playoffs. We'll go with that. So just unfortunate there for some of these playoff guys. We'll see how things do advance as this one goes on. The lights still on the iRacing.com pace car. Chris, let's see if we can get a word with Tyler Fode about what just happened to that number 40 machine. Tyler, it's Robert and Chris up here in the booth. You get a copy?
I do.
What just happened to that number 40 machine, man? You were looking pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we got the least motor or something. It did not like reaching the hot temps at all. Yeah, I was just telling Scott, it was, I didn't have any warning until we went into turn 3 on the second lap, started blinking a little. And I stayed with it to try and got the lap lead. And then once we crossed the line, I backed off of him. And 1 and 2, there was no blink. Like I cooled it off through 1 and 2. I got back on his bumper coming out of turn 2, and it blinked maybe 3 or 4 times. So I backed off his bumper, and while riding like a half car off his bumper, it just blew up. So not sure. I've never had that happen before. Normally you can ride it out a little bit, blinking. You got like a lap or so, and that seemed like a half lap, and I was still giving it some space. Wasn't even on his bumper when it let go. So really unfortunate. Glad I'm locked in, but really hate it that really hate it that I involved a bunch of people there that early. Definitely did not want to do that, so apologies to everyone there.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate there, Tyler, but you do have the locked-in status to fall back on, so definitely a positive there. Looks like we're going to get set to go green here momentarily. Any sponsors you want to thank, shout-outs you want to give for putting that 40 on the track?
Yeah, well, shout-out to JD Designs for painting all of our cars. We still got a few others out there representing, so yeah, just shout out to him. And hopefully Scott can survive. He's the only one really that we're looking to try and get above the cut, and Massey just try and maintain his spot. So that's all.
Well, get that headset on, get on top of the box, and help your boys out here, Tyler. Best of luck to the team.
Yep, appreciate it.
That was Tyler Fode, driver of the number 40 machine here. Unfortunately, done for the night basically before it even got going. It's going to be Scott Crump, Chase Cabry on the front row for this upcoming restart. Dustin Durr and Ethan Burrell just behind them as the pace car's off. We're going to get set to go green once again here, Chris Wright.
Yeah, lots of cars wrecked there. Tate Lytle, I believe, has joined the field, albeit 3 laps down. It's going to be tough to get out of that hole, especially with the wrecked cars out here now and people losing laps. But we will see how that plays out for Tate Lytle.
Yeah, and hopefully for his sake, he doesn't go any additional laps down. Of course, the 6-lap down rule in effect here tonight as it is a super speedway. So I think rather rapidly, we're going to lose a couple of those guys, potentially Brandon Ultra, Tyler Fode, Michael Hosick. Those should be among the first drivers out here tonight, unfortunately, for their sake. But as Tyler mentioned, has that locked in status to fall back on, which is definitely a positive for him here tonight after a rather abysmal start to this one.
Yeah, it's not what anybody wants there in the playoffs, is a big wreck that early.
No, you definitely don't want that. And you're right, Chris. A lot of playoff guys involved in that one. Again, we saw the likes of Chad Frankenfield, who you can see back here. He's able to keep up with Jesse Racines, but that's about it. Not really having much pace in that number 15, kicking the tires forward any longer after getting involved in that incident rather heavily. You can see the front end destroyed, rear end also destroyed on that machine. Jesse Racines going to do what he can to try to help Chad out, but with the damage that they both have, not necessarily going to be able to line up properly. But back up front, Ethan Burrell looking to take over the race lead with help from RC Enerson. Enerson driving the number 50 machine just behind that 37 Pro Edge Toyota Supra here tonight. Let's go 3 wide, though. We're going to leave Chase Cabry as the monkey in the middle. Here comes Scott Crump with help from Dustin Durr and Jeff Green up top. The Do Good car is going to help out the Lake Norman number 90 machine. See if they can get him out to the lead, move Mr. Cabry back. And I just noticed a couple guys up inside the top 10 having a good start to this one. I see Rory Collins up there, Chris Wright currently running himself in the 10th position on the outside of Mark Rebilas. So Rebilas down there on the inside, rebilasphoto.com for all your photography needs, our series sponsor as well. Having himself a good day here so far. Of course, long way to go. Anything can happen.
One thing I would point out here, one thing I'm kind of putting in my memory bank, if I'm Chase, that's the second time that Scott Crump has been behind him in 9 laps of racing, and about 6 of those were under yellow. That's the second time Crump has shuffled him to the middle, so I'd be thinking about that later if I'm going to pull in front of that 90 car.
Well, and that's the thing, Chris. It's going to come down to, at the end, if those guys are out there together, who's Chase Cabry going to help? Is he going to help Scott Crump, or is he going to help somebody like a Rory Collins, per se, that might be up there battling for the win at the end of this one? I know if I was in Chase's shoes, I would go with Rory because, well, Scott screwed me over a few times tonight, so not necessarily going to give him that help.
Right?
Depends what benefits him the most, too.
Yeah, if you don't like a guy and you want to make sure you're not working with him, that's one thing. But if it's 2 guys and all he's done is just shuffled you out a couple, you're going to go with the momentum if you think that's going to be
for sure,
win and whatnot. But if you don't like a guy, then yeah, you're gonna be like, I am not working with this guy.
I'm not going to work with you.
Yeah, like if you're going to fall on the sword because you don't want to work with the guy, then that's one thing.
That's right. That's right.
And that does happen. That does happen.
Well, Chris Wright, it does look like we are down our first 3 drivers of the day. Brandon Ultra, Tyler Fode, and Michael Hosick are going to be told by our race controller, Chris Wright, that they are past the 6-lap down rule and are done for the day.
Yeah, race control says thanks for the reminder. I forgot about that being a rule.
I got you, buddy. And recall up here currently trying to help Chase Cabry see if he can help push that speed factor machine up to the front. Chad Frankenfield, of note here, folks, is just ahead of the race leaders with Jesse Racines. Racines currently finds himself just about to be 2 laps down to the race leader. Frankenfield about to go a lap down for the first time here tonight, but this could get very interesting, especially considering we're 3 wide at multiple points throughout the pack. I don't expect the 15 to drop down, just knowing Chad. He's not necessarily the kind of guy that's going to give that courtesy to the rest of the field, but everyone is able to get on by and able to do it safely there, as it looks like things are getting a little sketchy up around Chase Cabry, not necessarily lining up properly there with the rear end of Jeff Green, which could have thrown them off just a little bit, but everyone appears to be A-okay.
Yeah, Jeff getting help from Chase. Ethan Stanley's going to pull up to that top line now as well. We'll see what they can do.
Don't forget, Ethan Stanley, Chris, did have some damage from that wreck that we had not too long ago. Very minor, I do believe, for that 92 Blue Egg marketing machine. So he should be okay to continue on. But sometimes at these super speedways, if you've picked up any front end damage, it can really magnify as the race goes on and become a real burden if you get any additional contact to the nose of that machine. But as of right now, it's okay. And where did he come from? Jaden Racimus going for the race lead, Chris Wright. Wow.
Yeah, we got 3x3 big pushes. You got a bunch of guys. The 07 taking the lead.
I didn't even notice him up here.
Justin Dewar. I mean, it's crazy right now.
Great job by Jaden, but they gotta stay lined up here. One bump gone wrong and everything could go sideways. As you see, David Tooker just got himself back on the racetrack, currently 1 lap down to those race leaders. Brandon Ultra has officially retired from the event. Tyler Fody, of course, done for the day, as well as Michael Hosick. Tate Lytle currently 3 laps down, but easily able to stay with the pack. He just missed the start earlier on, so no damage on that number 56 machine as of yet, I should say, because of course Talladega, you could have the perfect car, 1 foot and the next foot on the racetrack, you're absolutely a goner. So
I'm glad you bring up Tate. I'm kind of curious why he's up in the middle of this pack, when it might be the best way for him to get his laps back might be hanging out at the back and letting them crash, because if you pick up any kind of contact during a wreck, you're not going to get the lucky dog. And I think that's kind of, from 3 down, you're going to need help with getting your laps back.
Well, and that's my thought as well, Chris, because you got to remember, even the slightest, like a 0x, if it registers that you've touched another race vehicle on the track, your lucky dog's gone, like you said. And Tate's kind of in that position right now where I actually believe he needs to stay with the pack, Chris, because there's other guys like Frankenfield and Racimus, as well as Tooker, that are laps down, but less laps down than him. So they're in the lucky dog spots and he's not. So he kind of needs to be with this pack to go around and lap those guys and get laps back on them to put himself in a position to get his spots back later on.
Yeah, I guess what Tate might be looking for, too, is a little bit of help. If he can get some people to work with him.
He's got lots of friends in the field.
Yeah, but, I mean, Tooker's one of those guys, and Tooker got, caught up in that wreck. Ethan Burrell's a guy that I look for to work with Tate if he got the opportunity to try to help Tate get his laps back. RC, but they're running at the front. Was Matthew Weeks out here tonight?
Matthew Weeks, I did see him earlier.
Yeah, he's looks like he might be hanging out back there outside the top 20.
23rd. He's playing it smart. Matthew Weeks playing it smart here tonight. Again, looking at the playoff picture, he's one of those guys that, yes, he was in coming into tonight, but even though he was about 25 to the good, that can easily go out the window with a bad night, Chris. So you got to play it smart. Keep yourself in a spot where you know that you're going to be able to finish the race. And then when it gets down to the end of it, then you can start thinking about making that move and working your way up to the front. But as of right now, the safety net to option, definitely a decent one. Nick Massey back here as well, Chris, the 48 machine. And, I kind of picked his playoff apart last week, but this is exactly where he's been running the whole playoffs. but it's been working. He's put himself in a position to advance as of right now, but he's got to make sure he's not too conservative in this race, because that 9-point gap he had coming into tonight can very, very easily go away should one of those other guys win or even just have a solid finish. So watch for Nick Massey to have to make moves later on.
Yeah, and talking to Nick, he's just going to ride this out and see what happens and try to make a run inside of 5 or 10 to go. And he thinks that we're going to have another big race.
Mark Rebilas getting a little bit sideways down on the apron. Going to gather that 99 car back up. Going to absolutely lose the larger portion of this race field. Might get lucky. No. Is he under power, Chris, right? I believe he is. I think he's okay.
I think he just put the apron. He was trying to take a selfie going down the backstretch is what that was.
He just got the big camera out and pointing it at himself or something. Yeah. No, I get that. I get that. Scott Crump having a good day here so far, Chris. Obviously, there's other guys ahead of him currently on the racetrack, but Crump, one of those guys that was on the outside looking in coming into tonight, really needing a good run, and that's what he's done so far. He's going to try to keep himself up there at the front of the field, lead laps, get as many points as he possibly can throughout the event, get a lap led bonus, get the most laps led bonus if he can, and just see what that number 90 car can do at the end. Of course, he's had a rough playoff so far, and a lot of that not of his own doing, just unfortunately caught up in other people's messes. You see Chad Frankenfield there on the inside with Jesse Racines once again. Very tight there with Brent Jones and Tate Lytle going on by as they just passed to the outside of Chad Frankenfield. Everyone does appear to be A-okay, though, which is definitely...
That was wicked tight. I thought they were going to crash.
No, absolutely. It looked a lot tighter than most of those guys would have wanted, more than I would have wanted for sure being in that situation. But let's just touch on a couple guys having a really solid run so far. Of course, we've talked about Jaden Racines having a really good run up there in third. I want to talk about the guy in fourth, though, as well. He is having a very solid run so far. I'm talking about the number 20 of Gavin Higgins. This driver turned out to be a pretty good super speedway racer when it came to the ARCA series, now showing some strength early on here tonight in the Rebilas Photography Grand National Series. Rory Collins to his outside, we talked about him as well. Leighton Norgard right here having himself a good run. Hunter Smith, not necessarily an oval guy, Chris, having himself a good run here so far up in the top 10. Kyle Hanshaw up there as well. Brent Jones. If you were to pick any underdog in a field of super speedway drivers, Chris, that is going to magically come out of nowhere and have a shot at the win at the end, it's always Brent Jones. Always Brent Jones. He always finds a way to be there at the end of these things. He's probably got more top 5s at Daytona or Talladega than he has top 15s anywhere else. It's just, it's pretty incredible what he can do.
Is Dusty. That 32 car is running up at the front a lot of time in these races. And there's been some people who have, he hears the talk about people saying,
he's aggressive. He's aggressive. But
and some different things.
He gets it done.
He runs at the front.
He gets it done. That's the thing. Another driver. That was a little sketchy right there with Jaden Racines and Gavin Higgins almost coming together. Zach Evans, Chris, another driver. I know I've finished on the podium with him at a super speedway before, just kind of out of nowhere. That's another guy to watch, knows how to keep his car clean. He always prides himself on being there at the end as much as he possibly can and having a clean nose on board of his Me Fine entries. So watch for Zach Evans to really be someone to maybe have something to say at the end of this one. Of course, you see Michael Goodman there at the bottom of the screen as well, having himself a solid run here so far. But up front, it is Ethan Burrell and R.C. Anderson leading over Dustin Dewar and Jaden Racines. Two very, very different duos battling it out for the race lead right now. You have the really, really experienced and very successful duo of Ethan Burrell and RC Anderson. And then you have Dustin Dewar, who's been around a long time but hasn't found success yet in the Elite Racing League. And Jaden Racimus, one of the up-and-coming drivers throughout the league that has really shown a lot of progress over the last couple of seasons. Might not be at the point where he wants to be right now, but he's still shown a lot of forward momentum and forward gains from what he was just a couple of seasons ago. So would be really cool to see any of these guys get it done. We're only a third of the way through though, so absolutely anything can happen at this point. Hell, David Tooker or Chad Frankenfield, damaged cars, lap or more down, they could still somehow win this race.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of Talladega. But I do want to say, you know, as big as that wreck was and as far up in the field as that started, outside of a few playoff guys, you know, we still have 33 cars on the lead lap of the shot to win. Now, Mark lost the draft when his ordeal happened over there. But, I mean, you look at the guys that are done, you know, or have severe damage. You know, we're not ready to say they're done, but Tooker is 2 laps down off pace. Chad doesn't have the pace that he had earlier. He's, you know, Tate missed the start. Jesse got tore up pretty good. And Fody, you know, and then Hossack and Ultra, like, it's that wreck, as big as it was, it only ended a few guys' night when it could have, you know, when all those cars were wrecking, I thought we were going to be down 10 or 15 cars.
No, you're definitely right on that, Chris. I thought it would be a lot bigger than it actually was, and it was a huge wreck. But a lot of guys have been able to hold on to it and continue on in this one, not necessarily calling it quits as of yet. And you're going to get that when it does come to these races where we're at the end of a playoff round. We need to do whatever we can to get as many points as possible. We know that it's a super speedway and just about anything can happen. So it's just going to be one of those races where guys are going to try to stay in as long as they absolutely can.
Big move there by Crump to get down to the bottom now, too, to take over the bottom as the lead car. Now here comes that very top side. I think Rory had to check up there in the middle, 1 and 2, hurt the middle.
Yeah, Rory has fallen back a bit.
You talked about Ethan Stanley being in that wreck. You know, another car I saw that was spinning was Josh Adams, and he's still up there in the middle of this.
He spins a lot, though, on super speedways and still finds success. So.
Big move by Ethan and RC together. They moved like those two cars were attached.
Oh.
And then moved back like they're attached.
Man.
Absolutely incredible.
These guys are cutthroat tonight. Nobody wants to help each other up at the front.
Yeah, that was tight. Those two cars moving together and whatnot. You know, obviously having some kind of communication with each other.
We're coming up on the lap cars of Chad Frankenfield and Jesse Racimus once again. I believe this will put Frankenfield 4 laps down. Three for Chad, 4 for Jesse. As like you said, Tate Lytle will make that pass. Chad Frankenfield now going a lap down, or an additional lap down. Again, really tight around these drivers. Sometimes
they're getting lapped at a rapid pace. Like they're both going to be 7 down pretty quick, or 6 down.
6 down, yeah. Jesse's 2 away. So Jesse's probably going to get lucky, Chris, with the timing of a pit stop to come up, but we'll see how that one goes. I believe that's David Tooker right up the road. Yes, it is. He's going to do the courteous thing, move down off of the racing surface, allow those leaders to go on by, which you know they definitely appreciate that, and not having to go a very tight 4 wide as they work their way around the circuit.
Oh, yeah. I thought they were wrecking for a second. I thought I saw smoke.
No smoke.
Yeah, no smoke.
No smoke. We're good. We're good.
I had my Jimmy Johnson moment there like he had on Sunday where I thought I saw smoke and checked out. You
were washed up.
Who's washed up, Jimmy?
Oh, Jimmy Jam. Unfortunately, he's past his best before date, I think.
Yeah, as a fan, it's real tough to watch him run around the way he is after seeing what he did for so long. You just hate to see guys.
They're gonna have to revoke his Hall of Fame. Ooh, this is getting sketchy right here.
Yes, it is. That's Rory leading the top, Dusty leading the middle.
These cars are probably around the point now where they're getting lighter as well, Chris. So that's going to cause a little bit of unsettling, especially if you don't line up those pushes perfectly. As you see, Jaden Racimus rather wiggly there in the middle. We've seen it out of Rory Collins, Hunter Smith as well. Dustin Dorr and Scott Crump. Dusty's pushing the daylights out of Crump right now. This is going to be interesting to see if they're able to keep it together and work their way around this racetrack without too much chaos. Next lap car up the road, I believe, is Mark Rebilas.
And I think there's a game going on or something going on with Crump and RC and Ethan, because now Crump just turned right across Ethan's nose. As soon as that spotter started to say clear, Crump hung a left.
I mean, it's Pro Edge and Lake Norman, right, Chris? It's two rival teams. They're going to play head game. Ethan is not a do-good car in this series.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
Ethan is only do good on Wednesday nights in the Belly Up Sports Cup Series.
And even then, I think he's only just standing at the door. I think he's still Pro Edge.
He just got the sticker on the nose of that says do good. I think that's the extent of it.
Yeah, you start peeling that sticker back. There's a Pro Edge logo under it.
A little bit green under there. Little Toyota sticker under the emblem. Dusty's losing his help up top. Looks like Jaden Racimus falling back a bit. No, Jaden's going to come back.
I'll tell you who's lost the help is that very top line with Rory and Jeff.
Yeah, they're falling back a little bit here. Well, a lot of bit now. Going to be about back to 15th or so here momentarily. Jeff Green back in 17th at this point. Rory's going to lose his help from Jeff, but picks up Chase Cabry in the meantime. Old Dustbag down to the inside. Crump back up top. He's going to have help for... Oh, this is getting sketchy. Wow. The three-car tandem, man, that is wild.
I'll be surprised if that 07 can push this 90 like he's going to need to get the 90 back clear, because the 07 just pushed the daylights out of that 32 to get him up there, and that car's got to be hot.
I mean, we heard it with Tyler Fode. There's no real warning either. As Dusty Dorr comes up, Scott Crump gonna ditch him. Here comes Tate up the middle. The driver that's 3 laps down coming up into play inside the top 10.
Yeah, and Tate's gonna push him. Now look, the 90 just completely used the 07. It's gonna pull down in front of that 32. And now they're right back where they were, about 5 laps ago? 90 was help from the 32.
Yeah, essentially.
They both gave up bottom.
Here comes Higgins. Gavin Higgins up to the middle and going for the race lead. Help from Scott Crump and Dustin Dorr. Gavin Higgins currently has the advantage over Ethan Burrell. We'll see if he's able to hold on to it and lead a lap here under green flag conditions at the Talladega Superspeedway. Jaden Racimus, Hunter Smith. Oh, wrecking!
Oh, we're wrecking.
Oh, Burrell just hammered the wall right there. Oh, man. We're still green, though, Chris.
Yeah, it's all off the racetrack.
Wow. We'll get a look at the replay. I think there might be a couple of penalties that might need to be cleared from drivers having to go down pit road to avoid that as well. We'll take a look here. Ethan Burrell, the 37. Oh, I think Gavin Higgins just got hooked. Let's see. Once again, we're going to back this up. I believe that 20 of Higgins gets hooked from the high side. Maybe just a bump gone wrong. Bump gone wrong. The 20 comes down into the 37 and the 50. A Leighton Norgard, I believe, does have to use evasive maneuver. Oh, he runs right into the back of the Gavin Higgins machine. Man, that's just unfortunate right there. Numerous cars involved in this one. Higgins Enerson, Burrell, all with heavy hits. Norgard picking up a bit of impact as well. But we will stay green here. And the playoff implications of the incidents tonight continuing. Because Ethan Burrell, folks, once again, we'll take a look at the points. He entered the points about 30 or so to the good. But... oh, he might be okay right now. We'll see how this one plays out, though. There's Chad. There's Jesse. Once again, David Tooker involved in that pack now as well. I believe Jesse Racimus is now 5 laps down. Chad Frankenfield 4 laps down. And David Tooker 3 laps down, Chris. Is that correct?
Do what?
Jesse's now 5 down.
I believe so. Yeah.
We'll take a look at that in just a moment. On your scoring ticker. Yeah, Racimus 5 down. Oh, wreck it again! This is a big one. We're still green. Wow. Caution's now out on the racetrack. I don't know if that was race controller Chris Wright being a little slow on the button or Barney the flagman taking a nap, but multiple cars involved. Jay Connor, Andrew Hardcastle, amongst others. I believe it all kicks off around that 07 of Jaden Racimus, one of the Rassamai up front. Actually, no, it might even be... yeah, Chase
Race
Cavery.
control did not throw the yellow.
This all starts actually around Chase Cavery, Chris. Looks like he comes down, tries to get in line behind Dustin Dewar, knocks Matthew Weeks down into Crump, into Racimus, and then numerous others are going to get involved in this one. That's not a racing deal, in my opinion. That's the driver of the 39 coming down.
If I believe the 39 gets a shot from the 2, I think he lifts thinking the 32 is going to come up.
Well,
I think he thinks
it's
the 32 is
it's
going to
not
come up.
necessarily what you think; it's what you do that matters here. He gets a little bump and does come down into the 11, but I don't know, Chris.
Yeah, he lifted. You can see flame shoot at the tailpipe, and he lifts when the 32 starts coming up. He thinks the 32 is going to come all the way up, and when he lifts, the 2 gets into the back of him, moves him left just a little bit.
Big hit there for Gerald Campbell, Jay Connor, Andrew Hardcastle, Josh Robin, Seth Rawls going to get involved in that one as well. Pit road going to be busy here, though. Everyone going to make their way down pit lane. Dustin Dewar, Chase Cavery, Ethan Burrell, among others, now visit pit road. Cavery misses his box right there. We're going to step away. We'll be right back in just a couple moments' time. It's the Talladega 200 on the Elite Racing Network.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, It all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
And we are back here at the Talladega Super Speedway. Chris, I believe you've caught up with the driver of the number 37 machine, Ethan Burrell, after what was just a catastrophic couple of laps for him.
Yeah, this is not the conversation that Ethan wanted to have or I wanted to have here tonight before the checker flag falls. Ethan, you were running up at the front. Good help with RC, your teammate up there, mixing it up with the 90. And coming off of turn 4, it all went away. So talk to us about your race to that point and what are your chances of the playoffs now with all the chaos that has taken place at the start of this race?
Yeah, it's a bummer. I qualified good, and I figured, well, I'm starting up front. Probably a pretty safe place to be. And everything was going fine, nice and smooth. Had a teammate helping me, and I was just sitting there. We were starting to think about the pit stop, and all of a sudden just got hit. Guys being really aggressive and pushing the left rear out of the corner. You can't really push right there in these cars. So not exactly thrilled with the 90, but I mean, what are you gonna do? It's a Talladega race for a cutoff. So it's been a good season. I haven't got any wins this season, and if I would have gotten a win, I wouldn't have had to worry about Dega. So it is what it is. I think I had 27 points on the cut coming in and led a lap, and maybe I'll get most laps led. That could help, but I don't know. I think it's looking a little grim here to make it to the next round. We'll see how it goes, though.
Yeah, it might be looking a little grim, but there's been a lot of guys tonight have trouble. You know, Chad's obviously one of those guys that's had trouble. You've had trouble now, and I guess, are you not going to be able to get it rolling again? You're going to be done for the night?
Oh, no, she blew up. Yeah, thankfully it's a virtual race car. That would have hurt, but yeah, she blew up. I got nothing.
Well, we hate to hear that. That's unfortunate. We were hoping you would be able to get it fixed up and, make it interesting out there and racing with those guys that are, a lot of playoff guys had trouble to start the race tonight, and unfortunately you're added to that list now. Are there any sponsors you want to thank, shout out you want to give here before we let you go and count points the rest of the night?
Yeah, shout out racecpi.com, one of the best setup shops out there. Great group of guys. You guys up in the booth for this, and all the Pro Edge guys out there. Big shout out to RC for all the good help out there. And yeah, I'll be cheering the boys on and chewing my fingernails till the race is over.
All right, Ethan, we look forward to seeing you the rest of the season. And if you can't make it into the next round of the playoffs, go out there and steal some of those trophies.
Yeah, we'll be there.
That was Ethan Burrell, unfortunately out of this one early on. Chris, we are just 36 laps to go, 37 actually. Of course, we have to race that final lap. Can't pull a Mark Martin there, but we are back under green flag conditions. What in the world has happened up front? This is absolutely broken up. Jeff Green, Dustin Dorr, Ethan Stanley, Michael Goodman, Andrew McCall, the top 5. Well, we're McCall and Ethan Stanley all the way back to the rear of the field as Nick Massey going to come up and push him. Massey almost got wrecked there off the nose of that 07. First time we see Nick Massey up here inside the top 10, I think, in all of the playoffs so far here, Chris, right?
Yeah, and like I said, Nick was just hoping to survive this round, and so far as every playoff car tumbles out,
he wants to survive, but
Nick.
He's up in the top 10. That's risky.
I guess maybe he feels like it's safe. Well, are we about to a stage 2? We just had a stage break, right?
We did just end the stage. That's right. A couple laps ago.
I did not get those points or that picture for points there. I did not even realize that was going on.
I think it was Dusty leading at the caution, wasn't it?
I'm not sure. I'll have to go back on the next caution when we get down and double check it.
I'm pretty sure it was Dusty leading at the caution, so that should be the stage point there.
I blame these guys giving me all that work, wrecking twice there, coming to the stage end and not getting a caution for the first one.
I hear you on that one, buddy.
But now here we sit side by side for the lead. We got new players up at the front.
Brent Jones, Gavin Hibbs, Michael Goodman, 3 wide back here. Look at Zach Evans up inside the top 10. He fine tonight. He fine.
Yeah, Zach Evans up there. Ethan Stanley, we saw him get crashed early. He's up there.
Andrew McCall leading the race. Jeff Green, Ethan Stanley up here. Who was your pick tonight?
Who was my pick? I don't even remember. It was Jeff. I picked Jeff Green. I said the two good boys were confident.
Hell yeah. Both of our boys are 3rd and 4th right now, so let's go. I got that 40.
Big move for Stanley. Wow.
Man, those blue Lake Norman cars tonight are being quite ballsy with their moves. The Lake Norman way, Tyler, the Lake Norman way. As Jeff Green comes up to the middle lane to get ahead of Andrew McCall. He's going to try to get up here to lead this thing. Jeff Green, also a fantastic super speedway guy, great pusher. Always enjoy having him behind me on these tracks.
Yeah, it's wow, it's very interesting how these guys are still being that aggressive after all these wrecks.
I don't know that I 100% understand it, Chris. I think there's definitely some reason to think maybe we should take it a little bit easier at this point, but hey, we're up here, they're out there. So the thing about the super speedways, Chris, and I don't know if you feel this too, but you can tell when the intensity has picked up in the field and when it might be time to fall back a little bit and kind of get your safety net.
Here we go, 3 wide. Nick makes a big move there. Jeff tried to move up in front of him.
Slick
Nick
Nick.
said no thanks.
Slicky Nicky up to the high side. He's going to get there ahead of Jeff Green. Hey, speaking of Nick Massey, Chris, I'm going to plug this now. Tomorrow night, beginning at 7:40-ish on the Elite Racing Network. Nick Massey and Derek Vance are going to have coverage of the Words for Peace Carb Day coming up. That's in preparation of Thursday night's Rebilas Photography 500. That's the Elite Racing League's version of the Indianapolis 500. 33 cars deep for that one. Going to be Dave Huckleberry on the controls with Gary Godso, Derek Vance, as well as the voice of the Indy 500, Mark Janes. My friend Mark Janes on the call there as well. So be sure to tune in Thursday night and Wednesday, of course. Coverage of, I forget what the race name is, but I believe it's here at Talladega as well in the Belly Up Sports Cup Series for some more playoff racing action. So be sure to tune in all week long. Flag to flag coverage of great wheel to wheel, door to door action all week. As you see Connor Thompson drop down to the inside, he's going to go back to safety.
Yeah, it should be a fun week of racing, man.
It absolutely should be, Chris. And, you know, what I was just going to say here is the only risk of what Connor Thompson just did of falling back for safety, well, aside from that, is the fact that you have to rely on there being a hole.
Do that.
You definitely don't want to do that, that's for sure. But you got to rely on there being a hole available for you to get in line and get back with the field because, well, that. Connor has lost the entire field by a margin now, and he's kind of screwed at this point, honestly.
Yeah, that's what you want.
Also,
right
just
there,
of
at
note
all.
here, Chris, we are coming up on that 70 of Jesse Racimus, and when he goes a lap down this time, he will have to go to pit road. He is now 6 laps down, which has surpassed that rule. So Chad Frankenfield going to lose his help, and Frankenfield now 5 laps down.
Oh, they're wrecking. Big wreck.
Oh, Crump
no.
involved, Hunter Smith, everybody involved back here.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. That's another big one. Wow. Okay. That one kicks off around Hunter Smith. I did see that. As we load up the replay, as I was saying, Chad Frankfield now 5 laps down. Jesse Racimus now 6. So Racimus is done for the day. Chad just has 1 lap to go before, unfortunately, he will be done for the... How did that one even start? Was that the 54 maybe trying to go between... Was that Hanshaw? No, that's...
I think they checked up.
Gavin Hibbs. Oh,
in
my
front of him.
gosh.
Yeah, the 9, they check up. They check up. The 54 checks up.
It's kind of a domino effect, Chris. Honestly, I hate calling everything racing deal. I think that's a racing deal. Handshot up into the fence. Johnny Thomas involved. Oh, who the heck ran over Johnny Thomas right there? Somebody absolutely came out of nowhere and just ran right into... Oh, it's RC Enerson. RC gets involved. Tommy Ryan, Matthew Weeks, Mark Rebilas, Rory Collins, Leighton Norgard. Oh, Brenton D. Jones involved. Kyle Hanshaw went for an absolute flyer up there against the outside wall. As pit road opens up, Jeff Green stays out, Jaden Racimus, Andrew McCall, Tommy Ryan, Michael Goodman, and Zach Evans going to be the only cars to stay out. Everyone else will come down pit lane here. Wow. This is a race, Chris Wright. This is absolutely a race. We're going to step away again. We'll be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year. The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
And we are back here at Talladega, cleaning up our third caution of the day. Another mess here, but now standing by with Chris Wright is both Johnny Thomas and Kyle Hanshaw. Chris?
Yeah, this is getting to be a pretty popular spot. All these guys coming up to talk to me when there's cars still on the track. But Johnny, Kyle?
Get busy down there, Chris.
Yeah, it's busy down here. Tell me what you guys saw and what your outlook is here, Johnny, for the playoffs, and Kyle for the rest of the season.
I saw Hanshaw up in the fence. You guys see that? I didn't see much of anything. Just Hanshaw's rear bumper.
What about you, Kyle? What did you see?
We were making our way up there, and I seen the middle lane kind of check up a little bit, and it looked like Crump didn't react in time and got the 54 sideways, and we, obviously had nowhere to go, and just ended our nights prematurely, so that sucks, but it's what it is with these plate tracks.
Yeah, and real quick here, not a great night here for playoff guys in general, but talk to me about how crazy this race is here. In 15 seconds or less, tell me about how crazy this is and how you maybe didn't expect it.
It's crazy just in the sense that we can't push too hard because the car's overheating within 2 laps. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but it's just kind of bunching everybody together and creating kind of a mess. It's not too fun.
Yeah, gotta let them breathe as much as you can.
All right, before we let you guys jump out of here and get ready for next week, Johnny, I know you're counting points the rest of the night. Talk to us about the sponsors you guys have, both. Johnny and Kyle.
Belly Up Sports, man. Follow them. They sponsor the Wednesday Cup Series. You guys got to go back race them, man.
Harpoon Designs, Brantley, hit them up for some paint schemes.
Well, that is Johnny and Kyle down here. Boys, we hate talking to you at this point in the race. Good luck for the rest of the season and trophy hunting. And Johnny, I know you're going to be counting those points tonight with all the playoff guys having trouble.
I'm not in the playoffs, Chris.
Oh, I thought you were in these playoffs.
Jeez, Chris. Get your series right, bud.
Hey, tune in Wednesday night where Johnny is in the playoffs. Where he's going to win at Talladega to advance.
There we go.
And that was Johnny Thomas and Kyle Hanshot. Not in the playoffs here, Chris, right?
But he is on Wednesday, all right? That's
more
we're wrecking at the
carnage!
front.
Hefe! Oh, man. Jeff Green, Jaden Racimus. Green gonna turn into pain. I was gonna say green turns into yellow, but we're still green. So, oh man, that just sucks right there. Jeff Green gonna get involved in that one. Push gone wrong by the 39. Sends him down into the 07. Andrew McCall gonna get a piece. That's gonna be it of that incident. These guys gonna get down into the wall. Heavy impact there for Jeff Green. Wow. Just unfortunate there, Chris. Really unfortunate, but
that's my pick.
My pick is still alive. I think I'm going to win this tonight.
I know. The one night you get Nick Massey out from underneath me, it's looking pretty good for him if he could just survive.
Oh, man. What a disaster. Look at this top three now. Chase Cabry, Tommy Ryan, Zach Evans. The top three. What in the world is this?
Tell you what, these boys did not have any patience tonight.
No.
Man. It's not over yet. We still have...
We're almost out of playoff guys, so it must almost be over. I mean, I say that in half of our top 10 is playoff guys, but... Wild, man, wild. I'm going to be really interested to see how this helps Tyler Popp and Seth Rawls. Both of these guys having solid runs. Everyone else having miserable runs that are in the playoffs way behind them. So we'll see how this one goes. I just want to keep an eye on Chad Frankenfield as well. He's halfway down the back straightaway with Jaden Racimus. So he is a half a lap away. And, hey, JT's coming back. Johnny Thomas has rejoined the field.
He's not 6 down yet, so he's going to try to roll.
He's got a couple laps to play with, I think.
He's got one. He's 5 down as he leaves pit road.
Oh, man. He's just trying to beat Chad here. He's trying to beat Chad off on the charts.
Did you say he's trying to beat Chad off?
Let's crank it up. And we are back, and Chris, as I was saying to you off of the mic there a moment ago, we hardly have enough cars to actually crank it up here at Talladega. Like, how weird is that, man? How weird is this race?
It's amazing that they just keep getting back to 3 wide. You know at this point as a driver what the car's doing, how hard it is to drive, you know, with pushes and stuff.
Well, the thing is, like, you're 23 to go. You want to make a move to get up to the front, but with how small the field is right now, the back is the front. So, like, it's really interesting and going to be fun to see who can survive to the end. Here comes Nick Massey up on the high side. He's got the good man, Michael Goodman. Goody needs a better nickname than Goody. The Hooded Towel Boy.
Yeah, what's wrong with Goody?
Nah. That'd be like calling you Riggy.
Well, nobody calls me that.
Well, we're calling you that now.
I mean, there's a lot of different names for me, especially right now. You asked the group in Elite here, about a nickname for me, and you'll get a lot of different answers. Right now, that
I thought you
39
said nobody
machine
called you
leads.
that, Chris. That's what the race info says. It says Riggy. That's you.
Yeah.
I
I don't know
mean,
who does that race control, but I
me.
know. I know that's what I wasn't. I was just going to do a little slow drive by on you, dude. I wasn't going to run you over.
oh yeah, don't run me over. That would hurt. Please.
It would hurt my car.
Whatever. Wow. Look at
Hey,
Tate
we care
Lytle.
because we care, right?
That's right. That's right. We had old Tate up there on the high side. Again, Lytle, one of those lap cars working with Dusty Dewar.
Yeah, Tate trying to get back in this right now. There's still one car that's a lap ahead of him. That's a lap off the lead. He's wanting to see a caution here pretty quick.
Speaking of lap, I believe we are coming up on the lap car. Yes, we are. Chad Frankenfield. And for Frankenfield, as of now, he is done for the night. 6 laps down for that number 15, kicking the tires. Ford Mustang is done for the day. Shout out Kicking the Tires, by the way. Always provide great coverage every time they're around for an elite race. Seth Eggert and the folks there, I'm sure they'll have great coverage of Thursday night's Rebilas Photography 500. Sponsor of Garrison Hogan as well. Johnny Thomas also taking a pit side, so he himself is about to be done for the night as well, unfortunately.
Yeah. And Johnny was able to stay out there, and he's going to
He got by Chad, gained a point. The non-playoff guy, as you say, Chris, right? 19 to go, by the way.
Yep.
Getting down to the nitty and the gritty here tonight. Tate Lytle, is he just 1 lap down now?
Is he
2.
at the front of the field? Okay, yeah. If
He's
he takes
coming to
if he
1.
passes everybody, this is big right here. If he can get in front of
with
everybody.
the way that these guys have wrecked, he could get himself to 1 lap down now, get another caution after that, and all of a sudden Tate Lytle is the driver that's not only back on lead lap, but potentially up in the top 10, because we just won't have anyone left.
Yeah, but what's going wrong for Tate is Josh Adams is still 1 down. Although Josh has lost the draft.
But the thing is, Chris, if Tate gets a lap back the hard way here, gets out front, then they wreck behind, which we've seen a fair bit of over the last little while, then all of a sudden he's going to restart the back of the field with the other lappers on the upcoming restart that we would have.
And now Jaden just got lapped
There's a chance. Jaden did just get lapped, but he's going to lose a lot more time on the racetrack. He has pretty heavy damage from that wreck that he had with Johnny not too long ago. Tommy Ryan drops to the inside lane. Non-playoff driver Tommy Ryan down there. You see a couple playoff drivers in the middle. That's Nicholas Massey and Tyler Popp popping off in the middle lane. Ethan Stanley up there as well.
You know, he was one of those guys that needed some help tonight, right? And he's gotten a whole lot of help.
So Tyler Popp was one of those guys on the outside looking in coming into tonight. Really needed a good run. He was close, I do believe. We'll take just a quick gander. I believe he was just 9 points back of Nick Massey. Yes, he was. So as of right now, actually, hold on. Who was just ahead of Nick? Gerald Campbell. And Gerald, folks, is currently scored 15th, but should pass that of Chad Frankenfield and potentially Ethan Burrell as well, because Burrell, Hosick, and Tyler Fody buried pretty deep in the field. Of course, Fody locked in already as we're side by side for the race lead here. Chase Cabry, Tommy Ryan, Ethan Stanley, Nick Massey, and Zach Evans, the top 5. Then it's Tyler Popp, Gavin Hibbs, Andrew McCall, Seth Rawls, and Dustin Dewar, the top 10. And man, there ain't a lot of guys left after that. We're coming up on another lap car here. That is Chris Wright.
Chris Wright. I'm up here with you, buddy.
That's your paint scheme. That
yeah, the paint
KFC
machine.
car.
Yeah, not a good night for Josh. Got caught up in a wreck. And shout out to Josh for persevering and racing tonight.
He just needs some better chicken on that car.
he got his wisdom teeth removed today, so I know he is probably feeling that just a little bit.
Man, I think we had a little bit of wisdom removed from this race too with some of the wrecks we saw.
We're not done yet.
Oh, we definitely ain't done yet. No. This one is far from over here, Christopher.
Yeah.
Far from over.
But we're done wrecking, maybe. Maybe we'll be done wrecking, right?
No.
Maybe.
Have we hit the checker flag yet? No. So
Poor flag man's arm hurting tonight as much as he's had to wave that yellow flag.
I know he was hoping for a quiet night. No sir, no sirree Bob, or I guess no sirree Barney.
Yeah, and here we are side by side for the lead. We got some, if you would have told me that Ethan Stanley and Chase and Nick were up here at the front at this point in the race, I would have said, okay, I buy that. But, we see guys like Zach Evans up here. Tyler Pop's
Doesn't
having a great
surprise me,
night.
honestly, Chris, though. Zach was one of those guys I mentioned when we took a run through the field earlier, pointed out some strong super speedway racers. Zach Evans, one of those guys, keeps his car clean, keeps himself in position to be able to be there at the end. And, another guy that I just saw at the tail end of that shot that I mentioned earlier as well, Brent Jones, hanging at the back of this pack. That's how he ends up with these top 5 finishes on the super speedways and chances to potentially sneak out a victory. He keeps himself clean, keeps himself in position, and he's there at the end when the rest of these guys step on it.
And I'm going to tell you this, too. Typically, we don't have a lot of cars running at the end of these races, but usually we have them until about 2 or 3 to go, sometimes the last lap. That's when they decide to watch. This is like the most attrition I have seen in a race in a long time.
And
I mean, just multiple
and the
big
thing
wrecks
is, too,
all the way
Chris,
through.
a lot of outsiders that might be here for the first time tonight might be saying, oh, it's because it's a cutoff race. We end our regular season at Daytona all the time. We end our round at a plate race 99.9% of the time, so this is nothing new. But seeing this attrition is kind of startling tonight. It's not something that we normally see in the Rebilas Photography Grand National Series plate races. But anyways, it's going to be interesting to see how this one develops, see if we can continue without another caution. 13 to go. Intensity going to start kicking off for some of these guys that are on the outside looking in. I'm looking towards the middle portion of this pack. Gerald Campbell area currently running 15th. He needs to gain a bunch of spots here. Seth Rawls.
Hey, can we say something about Gerald real quick?
Yeah.
Can we wish him a congratulations?
Absolutely, we can. Him and the doctor, man.
Yeah.
Big news.
Announced that they're having another baby this week. He, of course, does the podcast, and he's one of our wonderful broadcast partners up here. So
it's our boy.
We'll have to see where we fit into his life here down the road, but congrats to him and his wife for the new baby that's coming soon.
Absolutely.
I guess maybe about 7 or 8 months. I don't know how far along they are, but
it's 9 months. They just did it last week. Still a while away. Still a while away.
I would think that we were down the list of being told. I would think they've known for a little while.
Man, Gerald loves his podcast, though. He put out that announcement on the podcast page, so.
That he did.
He was like, hey, folks, welcome to the podcast. Oh, yeah, I'm having a baby. His second as well, so it's exciting.
Yeah, 2-time dad, 1-time champion, right?
Oh, there we go.
We're wrecking.
Chase Cabre, Ethan Stanley, yellow flag. That's like the 4th wreck he's been in tonight.
I think Nick might have got a piece of that as well.
We'll take a look at this one, see what happened to Chase. Just some not terrible blocking, but just some very aggressive blocking of that 39 leads to getting sent sideways off the nose of the 66. The 92, nowhere to go up there. Ends up in the side of that car. Nick might have gotten a little piece of it. Everyone else does appear to be A-okay, but the blocking out of that 39 ahead of this, I think, is what kind of started it. You look, he goes to the top, then slides back down to the bottom, gets unsettled, boom, up into Ethan. I think it was netcode with Nick Massey, Chris, because if you look when they make the contact, the rear bumper of the 39 pops back out, which usually is indicative of a little bit of netcode, but we'll see on the Nick Massey machine. Yeah, he looks to be okay. So quick run through the top 10. Tommy Ryan, Nick Massey, Zach Evans, the top 3. Gavin Hibbs, Tyler Popp in the top 5. Seth Rawls, Andrew McCall, Brenton Jones, Michael Goodman, and Ethan Stanley, the top 10. Then it's Dustin Dewar, Jess Story, Connor Thompson, Dave Carpenter, Joe Campbell, the top 15, Chase Cabry, Leighton Norgard, Gavin Higgins, Mark Rebilas, Jeff Ryan, Matthew Weeks, Jake Connor, Rory Collins. That is your lead lap field at this point, as we have a couple takers on pit road. Ethan Stanley, Jess Story, Connor Thompson, Chase Cabry, Gavin Higgins, Mark Rebilas, Matthew Weeks, Jeff Ryan, Jake Connor. Shout out to a couple of our sponsors here. Blue Egg Marketing. Blue Egg is the marketing department for small businesses, small business owners. Blue Egg is your biggest fan. As well, of course, the folks at Worldwide Technology Raceway. You'll hear from them again in just a moment. And of course, RebilasPhoto.com for all your photography needs. Mark J. Rebilas has you covered. We'll be right back. This is the Talladega 200 on the Elite Racing Network. 9 laps to go. It's Tommy Ryan out front.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
We are back here at Talladega, coming to the restart after cleaning up the 4th caution of the day. Chris, it feels like we've had a lot more than just 4 yellows.
Yeah, we've had our fair share of yellows, but the race is winding down. We're inside of 10 to go here.
Gonna be 7 at the restart.
And I don't know if we're done wrecking.
Man, do we have enough cars to wreck at this point is the question, but
I'm convinced all it takes is one car out here tonight and we got enough to wreck.
Oh yeah. What's kind of surprised me though is we've had a bunch of multi-car incidents, but aside from the 2 big ones we've had, it's been 2 cars sliding off the surface, 2 cars sliding off the surface, like, which is okay because it keeps us green. but still sucks because guys check up for that and they don't get a caution. So it's unfortunate. I've been on both sides of it. Usually I wreck, so I'm used to that part, but we'll see how this goes.
And every admin's different on how they want to call stuff. Some will call it for any kind of spin off the racing surface. I tend to want to hold the yellow. Like if I'm the one that's doing race control, unless the track is blocked or it's some kind of crazy situation, I'm probably not throwing the yellow.
Which I definitely don't blame you. We want to get as much green flag racing in as we can, especially with this being a playoff cutoff race. You don't really want to have any issues like that. But Tommy Ryan, Nick Massey gonna lead us back to the green flag here. Zach Evans, Gavin Hibbs, row number 2. Tyler Pop, Seth Rawls in that 3rd row. And the gas pedal. The wick has been lit. We're back underway here, Chris Wright. And it's Nick Massey with a great jump on the high side. Whoa, that was a tight clear down ahead of Tommy Ryan.
Yeah, and it was a crazy checkup there back through the field. I don't know if the bottom didn't get rolling very good or what happened there, but one thing that of note here, I believe Scott Crump is in the playoffs, correct? He got the lucky dog right here on this caution.
He is indeed, but he's got some pretty heavy front end damage. Don't know that he's going to be able to keep up, but he could put himself in a spot where if something does go wrong, he's there to capitalize. As we see up top.
We just wrecked at the back of the field.
Who?
Josh Adams.
What's he doing wrecking? He looks okay.
Oh, it was Tate Lytle pushing 3 deep there in the back of the field.
They do look okay. 6 to go.
There's a meatball on that one car.
Oof. I think it's the second meatball of the night, is it not?
Yeah, I think it is.
So probably vulnerable to additional damage in what's likely the right front area of that race car. You know as well as I do, Chris, they are so sensitive. As Dusty Dewar going to take to the high side, he's going to try creating an upper lane. We'll see if he has any help. That's Jess Story a couple cars back up there. We see Brent Jones in the middle. Jones up to 7th, Chris. He's getting closer. How cool would it be to talk to Brent Jones in victory lane? That would be cool as heck. Man, he's feisty and he's energetic on a normal night. I could just imagine if he ended up in victory lane. But we'll see how this one goes. Matthew Weeks cooking and booking up on the high side. He's got Tate Lytle. He's got Dustin Dewar behind him. We'll see if this pays off. Oh, there they go. Everyone involved with the exception of Nick Massey, Tyler Pop, and Gavin Higgins. Oh, man. Well, caution 5 here, fellas. Let's back this one up. Looks like some contact right there. Maybe we'll go up above. How about that? Ooh, maybe a little bit of extra push there from that 95 into the 32, but oh, Dusty loses it in front of Gavin. Brent Jones going to get a huge piece of that. Jay Connor involved. Zach Evans. Seth Rawls. Matthew Weeks going to be involved. Mark Rebilas also in that one. All right, we're going to overtime here. Green, white, checkered attempt number 1 going to be coming up this go round. It'll be Nick Massey, Tommy Ryan, Tyler Pop, Brent Jones, Jay Connor, the top 5. Jones with some heavy front end damage. I do believe maybe ended up being net code. Let's take a look here from our. He might be okay, Chris.
Who are we talking about?
Brent Jones. It looked like he had heavy impact in that last wreck, but looking at his car, right front's a little disconnected. Yeah, he's got to come pit side. Never mind. I thought he might be okay. Looks like Tommy Ryan coming down, Brent Jones coming down. So now your top 5 is going to be Massey, Pop, Connor, McCall, and Higgins. This is what Massey and Pop need right here, Chris. They need these other guys to wreck out, which is what has happened for the most part so far. 6th, a Leighton Norgard. 7th, Gerald Campbell, the only other playoff driver in the top 10. Michael Goodman, 8th. Dustin Dewar, 9th. Dave Carpenter, 10th. Keep your eyes on this trio, Chris, of Goodman, Dewar, and Carpenter. Do Good Motorsports teammates all together in the top 10. If they can find a way. Actually, Gerald Campbell, an affiliate of theirs as well, just ahead of them. So if they can find a way to maybe create a lane up top, that Do Good team could be coming into play here. Jess Story just outside the top 10. Mark Rebilas, Matthew Weeks, Seth Rawls, and Rory Collins, the top 15. Everyone else currently pit side. This is going to get interesting. And Chris, we know super speedways are nutty here. I'm going to stick with my pick of Nick Massey. Who do you think out of these guys that's still running is going to have a shot to get up there and steal this victory?
Anybody. I don't know, man. It's
You can even take Nick. You could take Nick if you want as well.
I like Nick
at
here,
this point,
but
it's
I'm
who
not
do you
gonna
think
pick
is
Nick.
going to get it?
You pick Nick. I'm not going to pick him. I'm going to say...
What are we bringing to the picnic?
I'm going to say, man, a Leighton Norgard speaks to me
A
right here.
Leighton? What's he saying?
He's saying, I think he's going to be the guy here. I think he's, I think those
Wow.
guys behind him are going to be aggressive, trying to get up there. You mentioned the Do Good cars, Gerald and Michael. And I think he's going to try to jump out in that and left Dustin out of there. Dustin, David Carpenter,
Now-
man, oh man. Do Good couldn't have drew it up any better.
Chris.
Except for Jeff.
Looking at this top 10, how many of these guys actually have wins in this series? Nick? Does Jay have a win? I don't think so. Is it literally just Nick and Gerald with victories in the series?
I don't know.
I believe it
I
is.
have no idea.
I think out of this entire top 12, 2 of them, actually, screw it, top 15, there's 3 drivers with victories in the series. Weeks, Massey, Campbell. Everyone else has never won in this series, to the best of my knowledge. Seth Rawls might have got a win last year, but this top 15, man, I don't know. We might get some excitement in victory lane a little bit later on. Hell, I think no matter who wins, someone's gonna be excited.
Yeah, I think you mentioned Nick being a winner, but it's been a long time since Nick has won.
Man, he
You
absolutely.
mentioned Weeks, but for Weeks is the only guy that I think wouldn't be like over the moon. Yeah, I mean, you're happy every time you win, but everybody else is going to be like super duper excited, because it's been a long time.
I know,
or never. For a lot
most of
these
them
guys.
it's never, but there's a couple guys inside this top 15. I'm not going to name them necessarily, but I would love to see one of them up here in victory lane because I just know the excitement and the emotion that we would get out of them in victory lane would absolutely exceed anyone's expectations. So I'm excited here, Chris. We're about to get going green here, hopefully for the final time tonight. Cleaning up caution number 5. Lights are off on the pace car. Barney, the flag man, has the green flag ready. Fred, the pace car driver, has that steering wheel ready to hook it down to the left and head pit side. So we should be
And let me
getting
say
going here
this, too.
momentarily. Yeah, go ahead, bud.
You keep talking about top 10. I'm going to tell you what, the best story of the whole season would be somehow if
Mark
Mark
Rebilas?
could win it
Yeah.
2012.
That would be cool as hell. Chad would hate it, but let's go, Mark. Here we go. Pace car is heading down, and the green flag is getting ready. Chris Wright, let's go green. Once again here at Talladega Super Speedway. Nick Massey, Tyler Pop, green flag, pedal to the metal. Let's go racing once again.
Good start for the bottom. Not a lot of help on the bottom, though, right now. It's
That's
just Jay.
not helpful. But at this point, there's not a lot of cars left. So it's not necessarily going to be as big of a deal as we're watching these guys up front, Nick Massey going to have to try to work both lanes right now. Control this race. He's going to get Jake Connor and Gavin Higgins behind him. Tyler Pop up top of the Andrew McCall behind him. We're going to have to go up to the blimp cam because things are about to get crazy. Here comes Carpenter up top. Mark Rebilas behind him. Matthew Weeks in the middle, 4 wide. Now back to 3.
Weeks trying to close it up there.
I thought he had heavy damage, my friend, but he appears to be still in play here as we come off of turn number 4. Coming to the white flag this time. Watch Jess Story. He's got to run. See if he goes to the high side. Maybe Weeks will go up there. Maybe Goody will go with him. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go here at Talladega. It's Nick Massey, Tyler Pop, Jake Connor up front. We're going to stay high above because something's about to kick off here. We're going to have a heck of a battle down to the end of this one. Down the back straightaway for the final time. Chris Wright, we're about to be side by side. Here comes that third lane. Matthew Weeks going up top. Contact Higgins into McCall. There goes Massey. Massey with Higgins behind him. Connor on the inside. Connor going to get pushed here by Dorr. Now, oh no, that's Crump. Now Higgins to the inside, getting pushed by Dorr. Who's going to get it as they come towards the line? Massey leads against Higgins and Dorr. Dorr to the high side. Here comes Dusty with a run. Dustin Dorr to the outside, coming to the line. It's Dusty. Dustin Dorr with the victory over Nick Massey and Jay Connor. Wow.
Absolutely incredible.
First
Scott
time
Crump. Look
winner.
at Scott Crump in 4th.
Crump
Oh my goodness.
Crump in 4th. Rawls in 5th. Hold on. I got to pull up a stat here, Chris Wright. I got to pull up a stat. Bear with me, folks. Bear with me because this has been a long time coming for the dust bag. Dustin Dorr. Wow. Massey with an amazing finish. 2nd here tonight. I think that should be enough to get him in. You ready for this, Chris Wright?
Ready for what? Ready for craziness?
451 starts. And it's the first career victory for Dustin Dragon Dorr. He's fighting with foam here tonight, and he's going to burn it down. Gerald Campbell coming up behind him. He has the 3rd most starts in Elite Racing League history, behind only Michael Goodman and Chad Frankenfield. But Dustin Dorr finally gonna burn it down here tonight. He's earned it, Chris. He has absolutely earned the opportunity to call himself a winner. JD's Hilltop Salvage, number 32. He's got lots of friends coming to celebrate. Goody there. Gerald's there as well. Dave Carpenter went home. It's past his bedtime. He's done for the night, but what a ride by Dustin Dragon Dorr here tonight.
Yeah, what a race there. What a finish. You know, we got to talk about Tyler Pop. He didn't even get a top 15, and going down the backstretch, he was Nick's up. The 20 made the move there, and when that 20 made the move, it kind of shuffled everything up, and that kind of started that 20 making his move down the back. It gave Dustin Dorr every opportunity right there. That's how Dustin was able to make a move to win that race. I mean, just a great recovery.
Can't believe that,
Jay
my friend.
finished his 3rd. Scott's 4th. Seth is 5th. Gavin Hibbs. Mark comes home 7th. Then Gavin Higgins, Jeff Ryan, Gerald Campbell rounds out the top 10. Weeks ends up 11th. Rory Collins, Ethan Stanley. That's your top 13. Wow. Just absolutely. What a crazy race.
Amazing, amazing. As Dorr does his Kowicki Polish victory lap here, we're going to step away. When we come back, we're going to talk to your top 3 of Jay Connor, Nick Massey, and first-time winner in his 451st career start. It's the Dragon, Dustin Dorr. And Chris, just of note here, the first career start for Dustin Dorr came in 2019, 5 years in the making for Dustin Dorr. We'll be right back. It's the Talladega 200.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
And we are back here at the Talladega Super Speedway, just wrapping up what was an incredible race here tonight. Chris Wright, Dustin Dragon Doer picking up the victory ahead of Nick Massey and Jay Connor. But you yourself, my friend, have caught up with Jay Connor, our third place finisher.
Yeah, I am standing here with Jay, and for the first time tonight, we're not standing outside the care center. We're standing here on pit road beside the third place finisher, Jay. Take us through your night, how you managed to avoid all the chaos and find yourself with a shot to win on the last lap. Is there anything more you could have done to win the race? And what did you think about tonight's race overall?
Yeah, I don't think I avoided anything. I got banged up in that first one when Fody blew the motor on like lap 2 or 3, and then got that fixed, maintained some decent speed there, and then I forget what caution it was. I got involved again. Got another minute 30 of damage, got all that fixed, and from that point on, I could only run about 187, 188 miles an hour. And actually, one of them wrecks where the caution didn't come out, I lost the draft with like 10 to go there and got saved by a caution. And I was shocked. Starting third, I was telling Gavin Higgins behind me that if he needs to go, just go. Otherwise, hit me as hard as you could, because I didn't think I'd be able to keep up with Nick there on the final restart. And I guess if I was within a car, I was close enough that the wind wasn't on my nose, but I knew as soon as I lost like a car length, I was going to be a parachute. So Gavin just kept hitting me there, and I stayed close enough. And I was actually hoping Gavin got the podium. He hasn't had one here yet in Elite. And when he got doored out of the way there coming to the checkers, I was kind of bummed, but I'm shocked to end up with a podium after the mess that I had for that race.
Yeah, it was a crazy race, and you're not in the playoffs, so you're trying to steal some trophies. What's the outlook here the rest of the season, and what are you hoping to accomplish?
I just click off some good finishes, maybe another podium or something, and just try to stay out of the way for the guys that are running for the championship. Like you said, it being out of points, it's unless I luck into a win or something, just click off some more top 10s or top 5s and keep it clean.
Well, all right, Jay, before we let you jump out of here and load up a car that's not in a million pieces like a lot of guys tonight, are there any sponsors you want to thank, shout-outs you want to give? And I'm seeing just a black number 9 here. Are you looking for some sponsorship?
No sponsors. Just shout-out to friends and family that watch every week with us, and shout-out to you guys for putting on a good broadcast, and Elite for having us.
All right, that's Jay down here. Congrats on the run. We look forward to maybe seeing you again the rest of the season and shaking up these playoff guys here as we move forward.
Thank you.
Now joined by the playoff driver that finally did something here tonight, Nick Massey, coming home in second. Just a little bit short, Nick, but how does it feel getting yourself up there on the podium finally here in the playoffs?
Yeah, pretty good. It was a crazy race. I mean, there was a big wreck on lap 3 or whatever, and I was just trying to survive at that point. I knew some guys were in trouble that I'm racing against in the points, so I was just trying to survive. And kind of towards the end of that thing, all the wrecks kept happening and stayed out of trouble and was able to miss them and stay up front there.
Now, obviously, we've worked our way through the opening round of the playoffs. Looking ahead to round number 2, Nick, we're going to go to the Charlotte Oval next week, then Vegas, and then Bristol to close out round number 2. What's your outlook for the second round? Do you think you can maybe snag a victory there and lock your way into the championship 4?
I think so. Those are three pretty good tracks for me, especially Bristol. Probably the one I'm concerned about is Vegas. It's probably my weakest one in the next round, but there's a lot of strong guys left in the points, so we'll see how it plays out. Just got to keep putting together good runs, and hopefully these guys continue to have a little bit of trouble.
And I got to ask you there, obviously it was a hard-fought battle to the finish line. Dustin Dewar gets by you, picks up his first career victory in the Elite Racing League in start number 451. What are your thoughts on that finish, and are you at least a little bit happy for Dusty, or are you still mad that you came up just a little bit short?
Yeah, it was tough. Like, I knew a lot of guys had damage in my mirror there at the last restart, so I was trying to keep them all back there. And I had one block on, I think it was Gavin down the backstretch up the middle. And then coming out of 4, I thought I kind of had it at that point. And then Dusty came out of there with a run, and I stayed in line with Gavin thinking the momentum was going to come back our way. And Dusty just kind of carried the momentum all the way down the front stretch and to the finish line by himself. So I don't know what kind of motors they got over there do good, but I'm going to have to talk to Tyler Fody, their team manager over here, and see if we can do some investigation on that motor on 32. But no, definitely happy for Dusty. Awesome for him. I'm glad that I made it. I'm glad I wasn't in a must win. It sucks coming up short, but definitely happy for Dusty as well. So.
Well, Nick, before we let you go here tonight, any sponsors you want to thank, shout outs you want to give for putting that 48 machine on the podium here tonight?
Yeah, can I ask that Chris picked me tonight?
I did.
No, see, that was all the difference.
He picked Jeff Green, and Jeff finished 30th. So
I would have, but you were picked right out from underneath me.
Getting picked by Chris Wright seems like the equivalent of getting picked in the marbles race for the Cup Series.
Yeah, it's not looking good for you, Chris. I don't know. You don't have a good track record so far.
Well, we'll vote on it this week. Who do y'all want me to pick next week? That'll be the vote. So think about who you want me to pick next week, and that's who we'll pick.
All right.
Somebody in the playoffs that's not me. That'd be good. The way their track record is.
Well, Nick, congratulations, buddy, on a solid run here tonight, and we will see you next week for race number 1 of round number 2 of the Rebilas Photography Grand National Series playoffs.
Yes, sir. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. And now, Chris, you can hear him roar. It is the man of the hour, the Dragon, Dustin Dewar, standing by in victory lane with our very own Chris Wright.
Yeah, I'm standing down here with Dustin Dewar. Y'all called your shot pre-race, Dustin. I picked the wrong one. I picked Jeff to win. I told him.
Yeah, you knew Jeff was in a wreck out, unfortunately.
Well, once I picked him, I'm hearing I'm the kiss of death for whoever I pick, so I think you dodged that bullet.
You are. That's why I said that. That's why I told you to pick Gerald, just so none of us wrecked.
But take us through your night and how you won that thing. Up until, I don't know, the last half a lap, you ran up at the front, but you hadn't really controlled the race. And then that last half a lap, it looked like you had 50 more horsepower than everybody else.
Yeah, it was up front early on, the first 2/3 of the race, or good half the race, whatever, and then one of those wrecks, Crump locked up the brakes in front of me. I had nowhere to go. I was on my brakes too, unfortunately, but so I had some damage, had to get that fixed, start at the back. And then, yeah, things weren't looking good. I was a little irritated on that last restart there. I was starting behind Gerald, and Gerald just wanted to finish the race because of points in the playoffs. I understand, but Man, he was dropping us like a rock in that bottom lane because he just wanted to survive, and I wanted to go forward. And I'm like, get out of the way, get out of the way. He went. I felt bad. I put Goody 3 wide, coming to the white flag. But what was I there? 11th place at the white flag. And oh my goodness, that last lap was fun. I think I forgot to breathe.
Yeah, you might have forgot to breathe, but you did not lift off that pedal. Talk to us about that deal down the front stretch there. It looked like, you didn't have a whole lot of help. You were able to get around that 20, and then it didn't look like you had the momentum to get around Nick, and then all of a sudden it was, was it the side draft? Did you have a little bit left there on the pedal to go get? What was the deal there? That was a great pass down there that I don't think anybody really expected.
Sometimes you just try and you hope it works, and it does, and you end up sitting in victory lane. I did not think it was going to work myself when I looked in my mirror and seen there was nobody behind me. But Hibbs kind of, I don't know if it was netcode or what, but he came up in the entering the trial. We kind of made a little bit of contact. That knocked him off the bumper of Nick. And then I got the Nick's right rear, side drafted him, pulled him back just a little bit. Had the momentum. He door slammed me just before the line, trying to slow me down a little bit. I'm glad we didn't wreck. Heck yeah, oh my goodness, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I know Robert wants to ask you some questions, so I'll let Robert finish this interview. Congrats on the win, Dustin. It's cool to see somebody new up there and one of the good guys in here. And man, congrats. I'll hand you off to Robert.
Heck yeah, thank you, buddy.
Dusty, first off, congratulations. You finally got it done, my friend.
Woo! I want to talk about a while. I don't know how many total elite races I've ran, but
I do.
I'm gonna guess it's
tonight was your
pushing 400 by now.
Tonight was your 451st career start. Your first start came November 11th, 2019. Almost 5 years later, you finally got yourself a victory, and you get to join the list of winners here in the Elite Racing League. And let's see what number you are of winner. I believe you're about 164 or so. But first-time winner in Elite. How good does that feel, Dusty?
It feels good. It feels so damn good. Let me tell you, it's redemption kind of too. I've had a few of these. I've ran well at sometimes, and as all of us racers, I've lost obviously a lot more than I've won. So to be here tonight, it really couldn't be any better. I'll be getting one on a non-restrictor plate track soon. Don't you worry about that.
I have no doubts about that. How are you going to celebrate it tonight, Dusty?
Well, I got a bottle of vodka here from the father-in-law. Randy from Memory Lanes, Randy Big Balls Walters. So poured a couple shots, had those already. We're gonna have one more, and then hope the old lady's feeling excited.
Don't forget, you got to follow the trend that Ethan Burrell has started, where you got to take a video of you taking a shot anytime you get yourself a victory and send it to the Elite Racing League chat. But Dusty, before you get too excited here tonight, why don't we get to your sponsors and shout outs before we send you off for the evening?
Heck yeah. First of all, I'm going to give a shout out to Dad first tonight. I know he watches all these races. JD's Hilltop Salvage in Goodrich, Wisconsin. He's the scrap man. If you need any junk picked up, give JD a call today. Miss Goodies home of the famous Hooded Tall. They are the hottest and fastest things on the market. Get yours today before they're gone, because let me tell you, you don't want to wait for them. They're that nice. You can find her on Facebook at Miss Goodies. Memory Lanes in downtown Athens, Wisconsin. Hello, Randy and everyone down at Memory Lanes. And we're going to give a big old shout out to Home Place Beer and Turner Eye Clinic tonight and all the boys at Do Good Motorsports, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be doing this. We're a family here, and I love these boys, and they make it worth my time more often than not. And to you boys in the booth, thank you for doing what you do. You guys have picked up so much this season. The broadcasts are phenomenal. Keep it up, boys. Thank you so much.
Dusty, congratulations, my friend. It was great to see you get that victory, and I can't wait to see you pick up a few more.
Heck yeah, let's go, baby.
Absolutely. That's Dustin the Dragon Doer, first-time winner here tonight. Chris, how do we even second that excitement here? But why don't you wrap it up? Give me your comments. What do you think after what was a wild night here at Talladega?
Yeah, definitely the wildest race of the season. Lots of chaos out there. Not a green flag stop in sight. It was way more crazy than I thought we were going to get when the night started. Talladega. Typically, these races at some point have a long run, and we might get a big wreck early, and then we won't see anything until right at the end. And tonight just never did get into a rhythm. It was one of those crazy races, and sets the playoffs. The playoff leaderboard has been set. Chase and Tyler Fody, Ethan, and Matthew Weeks are the four above the cut line to race for a championship, and David Tooker, Scott Crump, Nick Massey, Seth Rawls, and Gerald Campbell are right now below the cut line, and we got 3 races to set up, and four of those guys are going to race for a championship here in about 4 weeks' time. So
definitely an exciting one here tonight. Couldn't be happier for Dustin Doer to get that victory. Always love seeing a first-time winner, especially when it's somebody that's been around for such a long time, has tried so hard, come so close so many times to finally get it done. Congratulations to him. Congratulations to everyone at Do Good and everyone here tonight. And on behalf of Chris Wright and myself, we will see you in next week for race number 1 of the second round of the playoffs from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Have a good night, everybody.